What if you could not learn only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 18 different equations of business? I'll tell you what happens. You'll make $1 billion, because to run a $1 billion company, you need 18 different equations inside your business to make it captivating enough to reach $1 billion. And in this video, I'm going to show you all the 18 ones. Take notes. It's gonna be hard. We'll exponentially increase the intensity in this video, and it's gonna be mind blown. Each equation will change the perspective of your business forever. This is a really important video, a really long video. Take as much notes as possible. Without an Excel sheet, a calculator, and your numbers, you can't see this video. So take notes and let's begin. Now, as a basic business owner, there are 3 normal words that you should be at least aware of. It's called as revenue, it's called as profit, and it's called as expense. What is revenue? Well, whatever is the cash collected of the business. I'm tired up of gurus screaming up, I've made 2.5 crores, 4 crores, 8 crores, and that is not cash collected. That is order taken. Order taken is basically the amount of order you received. Example, you sell a product of 1 lakh rupees. Now this 1 lakh rupees product you sold to 10 people, but not everyone paid you 1 lakh rupees. Some paid you 80k, some paid you 70k, and on an average, let's say they paid you 80k instead of 1 lakh. That means 80k into 10, 8 lakh is cash collected. That means money in the bank account. And this is what matters at the end, because this is the actual number you received. And that's why 8 lakh would be your revenue, not the order taken number. This is a false number. Never ever try to calculate it. It's just a false myth number. You can just put it on a finance sheet to know how much is the potential, and next month how much you will get from these customers that have remaining EMIs or whatever it is. But always understand, cash collected is the main number on what is the exact amount that came in your bank account. The second number that comes is something called as profit. Now there are multiple profit ways. There's gross profit, there's net profit, there's PAT. There are multiples you calculate, but the one I'm going to calculate is simple. First, your net profit, and second, your PAT, which is profit after tax. So profit has 2 variations. Number 1 is called as PAT, which is profit after tax, and second is called as NP, which is your net profit. Now, whenever you take your revenue and you minus expense from it. Now, what is expense? Very simple. Anything that went out of your bank account. So this is into your bank account, this is outside of your bank account. So whatever went outside of the bank account is called as an expense. Would GST be an expense? Yes. Would operations be an expense? Yes. Would ads be an expense? Yes. Would team be an expense? Yes. Anything that takes money out of the business is called as expense of the business. Now, whenever you take this expense, let's say this expense was 4 lakh rupees, your cash collected was 8 lakh rupees, that means your revenue was 8 lakh rupees, your expense was 4 lakh rupees, your profit would now come to 8 minus 4, which is 4 lakh rupees profit. Now, once you have got this amount, right, after having all the expenses, once you have got this amount is tax deductible. Let's say for an example, you would pay 30% tax on this. That means you would pay 1.2 lakh into taxes. So 4 lakh minus 1.2 lakhs, which comes around 2.8 lakhs, and this 2.8 lakhs is your PAT. Now, once you're clear on those 3 basic things, let's go to equation number 1. Equation number 1 is very simple but hard to comprehend. The simple equation is revenue minus profit equals expense. But Himanshu, that looks basic. It is not basic, because what we have been taught is that revenue minus expense equals to profit. That means a business owner runs every month, makes some money. Once he has made some money, then he gives all the team salaries, ad spend, whatever, and all the expenses done. And after that, whatever he's left with is profits, and he need to take that home, and that's his money. Nope, that is wrong, because if you go with that kind of equation, this would always be lesser, because this every month would vary. The reason this was vary is because a business has 2 kinds of cost. There's fixed cost and there is variable cost. Fixed cost is something that is fixed every month and would incur to your business. Variable cost is something that comes every month, which is new, sometimes up, sometimes down. So ad spend can be a variable cost, because sometimes you're spending 5 lakhs, sometimes you're spending 0. And that's why you need to understand that expense of the business can vary, due to which the profit might fluctuate, and this fluctuation of profit is a headache for the business owner. The reason it is a headache is because you don't know exactly how much you will take out every month. But when you use the first form of the equation, which is revenue minus profit equals to expense, that means whatever revenue you did, you directly minus profit that you want to take home. Example, you did a 10 lakhs revenue, The expense that came into the company is called as 6 lakhs. And you got 4 lakhs profit out. This is the normal equation which we don't want to use. What we want to use instead is 10 lakhs is my profit. I want to take home 5 lakhs. So I will take 5 lakhs and the rest is 5 lakhs left. And this is the money I'll use for expense. The reason we need to shift the equation is because it would create forced creativity inside you. That means when you're only left with 5 lakhs and the only thing you can do is survive in this 5 lakhs for the next month to make more money, then you would have forced creativity inside you to figure out all the problems in just 5 lakhs and not 6 lakhs in the earlier equation. If this is in your mind, then this might go up and down because it varies. And the reason it might go up and down is because you as a business owner cannot have forced creativity until there is a forced amount in the bank account. But when you use the first equation, there's only this much amount left and you need to run the company no matter what happens in this amount only. And that's why you would be able to create more profits for yourself as a business owner. So the second basic metrics every business owner should know is called as average order value and cost per acquisition. So number one word is cost per acquisition and number two word is average order value. Understand this, that the ratio between this and the difference between this is the profit you take home. Now understand this, cost per acquisition is nothing but the cost to acquire one customer. So let's say you did 1 lakh in ad spend and you got for that 100 customers. That means if you divide 1 lakh by 100, you would receive 1000. This 1000 is your cost per acquisition. That means how much money are you actually spending to get a customer in. The second number is called as average order value. So this month you generated 100 customers. Now these 100 customers, let's say for an example, created a revenue, that is cash collected, of 3 lakh rupees. Now if these 100 people paid you XYZ amount up and down and paid you in total 3 lakh rupees, that means your average order value is 3 lakh divided by 100 people, which leads to 3,000 rupees. So the whole idea is that you're spending 1,000 rupees to acquire a customer and you're getting 3,000 rupees per every customer. The whole idea is this: average order value can only go up. The idea of CPA is to get as much low as possible, and that's why you'll see coaches, agencies, everyone just fighting around, how can I get my CPA less? Well, they solve the wrong problem in the business. I never cared about this number. Why? Because the max I can take this number is to 0. Not less than that. It can never be negative. And that's why if I can only take it to 0 and it is 1000 right now, that means I can get it 1000 units less. But average order value is 3000. Can I make it 30,000? Yeah, I can. If I improve my conversion rates, if I improve my pricing, if I have more upsells, if I have cross sells, I can get this number from 3000 to 30,000. And that's why average order value can only go to infinity. And that's why I would try to optimize something that can always go most units high, not something that can go only 1000 units less. Now, a lot of people try to optimize this. Should you not optimize it? You should, as much as you can. But always understand that this can at max get to 0 and Facebook, Meta, YouTube, whatever you want to talk about, your acquisition platform, the cost to get more customers on that platform would always and always increase. There's only one way CPN can go, which is up, and you can't solve it. The reason you can't solve it is because what you have in your hands is called as microeconomics. Microeconomics are nothing but economics that dwell inside your business. There's something called as macroeconomics, which is outside of your business, that as a business owner you have no control of. You can't control Mark Zuckerberg, you can't control Google, you can't control Meta, and that's why these are macroeconomics. Because if Zuckerberg feels that every year the CPM of each ad should go up by 20%, you can't do shit about it. And if you can't do anything about it, that's macroeconomics, because you as an individual do not contribute into that factor of decision. And that's why the only way CP can go is up. So the only thing as a business owner you need to solve in your company is average order value. Now here's the kicker part. Most of the people are not clear about this and this. So right now pause the video and please calculate these two numbers, because without these two numbers, your business is a mess and you don't understand anything in your business. The magical part is this: when you take your AOV and you subtract CPA from that, that's when you get a number which is called as PPC. It's called as profit per customer. That means on an average, this is the amount that a customer pays you. On an average, this is your acquisition cost. So before removing salaries, team expense, blah, 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 all the other expenses, this is the profit per customer you are making from an advertising point of view. And this number would come to 3000 minus 1000 which comes to 2000 rupees. That means your advertising is actually effective. Whenever you spend $1,000 and you can get $2,000 profit and $3,000 revenue, your advertising is actually profitable, and that can build a business that can create profit for you. The simple reason is you are having a clear number in your mind. So my question is, if you know that you can spend 1,000 rupees to acquire a customer, and every customer you acquire, you will make 3,000 rupees, that is 2,000 rupees profit. Tell me this one question: how much would you spend on ads? Infinity. And the reason you would spend infinity is because you know that I'm only spending 1,000 rupees to get 3,000 rupees back. Think it of as an ATM. Like literally you go over there, you put 1,000 rupees in and you get 3,000 out. How much times you would do that transaction? Probably an infinite time, and with more and more money. The reason you're scared, the reason you're confused, the reason you are not able to increase your ad spend and you get this frustration of what would happen, the reason that is happening is because you're not clear on your numbers. The reason I was able to scale on a 4 lakh per day ad spend where my competitors together were not able to spend that kind of money in a single day is because I'm clear on my numbers. I know exactly what I'm doing, and that's why I can increase it. Now here's the magical part. If my CPA, let's say, goes from 1,000 rupees to 1,500 rupees because I'm scaling, so it would go to 1,500 rupees. Well, what should I do? Should I optimize this? No, that's a stupid answer. If I try to optimize this, I would not be able to scale. But rather, I would go over here and try to make this 3,000, 3,500. Because now I again maintain this number of 2,000 rupees, because 3,500 minus 1,500 is again 2,000, and that's why I can continue to scale. The whole idea is this: how can you increase average order value in your business? There are multiple ways of it. Let me know in the comments if you want a separate video on average order value, we'll make it. Now for my real core people who are like, show me something more advanced, here it goes. See, CPA and average order value is something that a lot of people might calculate, and it's easier to calculate. Well, the real number that you should boil down into is something called as CPC to the ratio of EPC, which is cost per click to the ratio of earnings per click. Because understand this, cost per acquisition you can only calculate something when you're advertising on Meta and YouTube. Why? Because you exactly know how much you spend and you exactly know how many customers you got. So you spend 1 lakh and you got 100 customers. We know our CPA is 1,000. This is clear, this is simple. But here's the idea. What about your organic? What about your Instagram? What about your YouTube organic? What about your shorts? What about your cold email strategy? What about your backend email strategy? Are they not getting customers? Well, they're also getting customers. Then how do I calculate the exact CPA of the business? Because I can only calculate the CPA of the paid traffic, not the organic traffic. And that's why you boil down to a number called as cost per click. That means what is the average cost I get to get a person click on my business. That means you know you have a landing page that converts at, let's say, 20%, and that would get you a customer of 99 rupees for an example. So let's say you got 1,000 clicks in your business, right? Now this 1,000 clicks, you got 1 lakh through YouTube, Meta, ads basically, right? And the next 1 lakh rupees you spent is on your content, is on your posters, and on billboard, whatever XYZ. That means on a total you spent 2 lakh rupees in order to get 1,000 clicks. Now if you spend 2 lakh rupees to get 1,000 clicks, that means your cost per click is actually 200 rupees. And this 2 lakh rupees when spent, you got 1,000 clicks. Out of 1,000 clicks, 20% of them became a customer because they went on a landing page, they bought something of 99 rupees example. So you got 200 customers. That means 2 lakh divided by 200 is 1,000. That means your cost per acquisition was 1,000 rupees. Your cost per click was 200 rupees. Now the only thing you need to calculate is earning per click. That means how much money you actually make on every click. So let's say you made a revenue of 5 lakh rupees. How many clicks we got? We got 1,000 clicks, right? So out of 1,000 clicks, we made a revenue of 5 lakh rupees. Because 99 rupees people came, let's say they paid 1 lakh rupees. After that, there was upsell, 5 people bought, blah, 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 blah. You made 5 lakh rupees revenue technically. 5 lakh divided by 1,000 clicks is basically 500 rupees EPC, which is earning per click. That is 5 lakh divided by 200, which is 2,500 rupees. And this is your average order value. The whole idea you to understand is, now I know that I spend 200 rupees to get a click and I make 500 rupees on every click. Here's my question. How much content would you put out if you know that you will make 500 rupees on an average per click? Probably infinite. And how many times you'll send emails? Probably infinite. And how many times you'll send WhatsApp? Maybe infinite. The simple reason is, on every click you make 500 rupees on an average. That means the whole idea is how much clicks I can get. And now I think you must have got an idea why big brands spend on billboards, why they spend on radio, why they spend on random posters. The reason they can spend that amount is because they know what is the earning per click. They know if I put a billboard and I put a phone number over there, and let's say the cost per dial and the earning per dial, that means if I get a phone call, how much do I spend to get a phone call? And if when I sell on the call, I get some customers, I get some revenue, that means how much I earn per phone call. If I know those two numbers, then I can scale just on billboards itself, because my numbers are at least clear and I know how much I can spend. So if I'm making 500 earning per click and I make a YouTube video like this, which takes 1 hour of mine, but I get, let's say, 100 clicks, that's 50,000 rupees that I made through a single video in a 7-day period. Now in a 14-day period it would be more, in a 140-day period it would be even more. The whole idea is calculate the numbers. It gives you clarity and it gives you confidence to move forward because you know what you're doing. So if you're getting value till now, click on the subscribe button and we'll continue with the video. I'll tell you one of my personal stories. I got to know this concept, I think 3.5, 4 years back. And when I got this concept, I was like, wow, this is so crazy, amazing, right? But here's the fact, I never applied it. And the reason I did not apply it is because I was lazy. I can give you the biggest gold mine that you can ever get on the internet to run more ads. But most of you would not use it because you're just a lazy fucker who wants to watch more videos and not apply them. Understand this, guys. Open your financial in a different tab. Calculate these numbers, because I'm telling you, once you calculate it, you'll be surprised. And I am shocked by seeing how many people are in losses, because when they calculate their cost per acquisition and average order value, their cost per acquisition is 1500 and their average order value is 1200, and they think they'll somehow build a profitable business because they'll launch some L9 in their business. It does not happen like that. Calculate the numbers right now so that you get actual understanding of how actually a business works. And this is what I do as a consultant in my client's business. I calculate everything and then I know what to do, what not to do. And before telling you this third equation, I am just surprised to tell you this number that most people, even at the top, have not calculated this number, and just makes me sad on the core of myself, because if you're not calculating this number, you actually don't care about your customers. And by the way, if you haven't calculated this number for your customers or for your business, you also don't care about your customers, no matter how much you show it, but you actually don't care. Because the third equation is something called as J to the ratio of C equals to SR, which simply means joinee to the ratio of completion, not completion of course, not completion of anything, but completion of task, because when the task would be completed, they would get a result, is equal to success rate. And I'm shocked to tell, I have ran the biggest mastermind in this country. 90% of our audience does not know this number. And it just shocks me because it just tells me they don't care about their customers. And this is the number I am obsessed about. And the reason I'm obsessed about this number is because this number actually dictates how much my average order value would be. Tell me this. Let's say you have something of 99 rupees, then you have something of 50,000 rupees, and let's say you have something of 5 lakh rupees. If someone is joining this but not completing this, is the success rate high or low? The chances of this person ascending to this is very less. Now, if this person joins this but is not doing this, would this be high or low? Again, low. That means ascension from this to this would again be lower. And if this is happening continuously, you would not have a high average order value. That means, let's say you got 100 customers over here. That means you made 9,900 over here, right? Out of this 120 people bought this, for an example. You made again 10 lakhs over here. And then out of that, 2 people bought this. So you made 10 lakh rupees. That means you have made 20.09 lakhs over here. Now, I will show you a magical number in this. Let's say 100 people join this. I make the same amount of money. But this time, I am obsessed about this completion of task and I am obsessed about success rate. I would actually not get 20 people sign up, but I would get, let's say, 30 people sign up. Now, because I'm getting 30 people signed up over here also I'm focusing on this number. So technically I should get 3, but because I'm obsessed with it, I get 4. Now see the magic in numbers. If I get 30 people into 50K, that is 15 lakhs. And I get 4 people for 5 lakhs, that is 20 lakhs. That means this time my business is making 35.09 L. I made 15 lakh profit difference with just focusing on one number. And the reason not everyone focuses on this number, because this is hard. You need to make a really good product and service. Your support team should be really good. Your coaches should be really good. Your CRM should be really good. And most people never focus on it. And that's why the business is not able to scale, because this number is not clear. Now understand, it's not only one number. There are three parts in this. Number one is called as joining rate. Number two is called as completion rate, and number three is called as success rate. Joining rate is basically how many people joined something. It is not about making them buy, it is about making them join. I'll repeat that again and put this in your DNA. It is not about making someone buy, it is about making someone join. If they buy your ticket but do not join your WhatsApp group, there's no point of them buying the ticket because they're not showing up. If they bought your seminar ticket but not showing up to the seminar, it's a waste of time. If they bought your course but never showed up in the course, it's a waste of time. If your team member joined but never showed up, it's no point of having a team member. The whole idea is not to make someone buy, the whole idea is to make someone join. And that's why joining rate becomes most important thing. So calculate this. What is your WhatsApp group joining rate? Because most people don't know it. And like, oh, my show-ups are bad. Obviously, because you don't know your numbers. Calculate your WhatsApp group joining rate. If 100 people bought a 99 rupees ticket, how many actually joined the WhatsApp group? If yours is 80%, 70%, then best of luck having a 90% show up. You will never have it because people are not even seeing the reminders. Simply see what is your course joining rate. That means if 100 people buy, how many actually create an account on your LMS, or even they don't create an account on LMS, and calculate this number. Once you calculate that, your joining rate on each level of the business will be clear to you. Once you are clear on that, you can optimize it. If you can optimize it, you can grow it. Second, completion rate. That means when someone joins, when someone shows up, how much do they complete? Do they retain 70%? So calculate about everything on your onboarding call, on your webinars, on your sales calls. How much is the person retaining? And that retention rate, that completion rate just actually shows you that how many people are completing it. If less people are completing it, that means less people would buy at the end. Whatever it is, your product, service, idea, whatever it is, less people would buy it. The whole idea is, can they retain through the whole process so that they buy at the end? If you don't retain through this video, then there's no point of making this video, because I am just screaming at a camera without knowing that you're getting the point or not. The whole idea is, can I retain you through the video so that you actually get the value that you want to seek? The last number is called a success rate. That means how many people actually get successful after it. What is the definition of success? It depends on your business. Somewhere it can be a change in behavior. Sometimes it can be making some money. Sometimes it can be losing some weight. Sometimes it can be solved relationship. Sometimes it can be becoming more productive. It can be anything. You just need to understand what your business is and then define your success rate. You as the business owner defines the success rate, not your customers. You define the success rate that after going through this particular journey, you would have this success. Once you know that number, you would be really clear on, are people becoming this or not. If not, then you optimize the product, optimize the delivery, optimize the services in a way that the customer becomes so. So earlier we calculated this number, which is called as PPC, right? Which was profit per customer. What was this? We simply take the average order value and we minus that by CPA, and we get something called as PPC, which is profit per customer. But this profit per customer is only on the advertising level, not on the company level. So it can be that your advertising is profitable, but your business is not profitable. And for that, we need to understand the equation number 4. Profit per customer. Total business equals to AOV minus brackets CPA plus OE. Now this is getting a little more complicated, I know. Bear with me, understand, try to go through the video again and again. I know this would be hard, but that's what it takes, because if it was that easy, everyone would be successful. Now, profit per customer on the total business, that means if someone enters my business, this is my business building, okay? If someone enters my business and exits my business as a customer, when they are part of the business and they're inside the business, how much profit I'm making per customer on an average. If I know this number, then I would know my business is profitable or not. To calculate this number, you simply take profit per customer equals to average order value. We already calculated it, right? So if you haven't calculated, go back to the video, watch it again and do it right now. Now, once you know your average order value, you minus it by CPA, which we have already done. But now it would not only be CPA, it would be CPA plus operational expense. What is this? Well, understand this. Only advertising is not the cost of your business. Softwares, agency cost, team salaries, tax, other variable cost, rent, electricity, thousands others. What you need to do is you need to open your expense sheet. Now, for those who don't even have an expense sheet, I don't know, bro, what you're trying to do in your life, but at least have an expense and revenue sheet on where you know money came from and where you know money went. If you don't have a template of it, I'll put in the description, download it, use it. Now, go to your expense sheet and see where all expense comes. Let's say these are all your expenses. You need to do two things with your expenses. Number one, divide them into fixed cost and variable cost. Whatever is a fixed cost, write FC in front of that. Whatever is a variable cost, write VC in front of that. Right? So you would know it's a fixed cost or a variable cost. And then you can do a total budgeting with a simple formula that I don't know. You can ask your CEO, whoever it is, that what is the total fixed cost in the business and what is the total variable cost in the business. Now, once you're clear on this, you come to the second part. Now, take your all the expenses again and divide them into two categories. Number one is called as growth. Number two is called as retention. There are only two things that you do with a customer. You grow them. That means you grow the number of customers that you have right now. Number two, you retain them. Every part of business that is in retention of the customers is called as retaining part of expense. Every part that is responsible for growing of customers is called as growth. Now you hire a lawyer to help you create the legal compliance of a company. What is that? That would come in retention, because with that activity you're not growing any customers. And that's why take all the expenses again, and if they are a growth oriented, that means growth of number of customers, then you write G in front of that. If it is for retention of customers, then you write R in front of that. And then you simply create G R as a separate tab, and you simply write how much of the percentage of expense is going in growth and how much of the percentage of expense is going in retaining. If retaining is higher than growth, that means you are not operationally efficient as the business. If growth is greater than retention, that means you have too much advertising cost. So Himanshu, you mean to say G should be equal to R? Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. Here's the magical part. Both equations are wrong, but that's where the play is. Sometimes R would be greater than G. That time you should know that you're not operationally efficient. Sometimes G would be greater than R, and you should know you're spending way too much for a customer that you should not. Whole idea is try to maintain this ratio as much as possible. It would come to 1 for some time but would not sustain for 1. The whole idea is sometimes G would be high, sometimes R would be high. You should be okay with both, but this gives you an idea on what you are actually optimizing for in your company. So now what is OE? Well, OE is nothing but all the expense except advertising, because advertising expense we have already taken over here. So basically all the advertising expense except that whatever expense your company is incurring is called as operational expense. So the whole idea is average order value minus total expense per customer. That means take all the expense divided by the number of customers you get that month. That would exactly give you an idea what is your expense per customer on an average for the whole business. Now, once you have the expense per customer, you minus that by average order value, and that will give you the exact idea on what is the profit per customer. Now, tell me this one thing. Let's say your profit per customer on a scalable business, let's say something that has volume, which is a coaching business or something like that, or app download business or any tech business, your profit per customer is, let's say example, 3,200 rupees. Would you scale? Yes or no? If your answer was no, then brother, you don't understand business. If your answer was yes, very good, because I know I'm making 3,200 per customer. That means if I can get 1,000 customers per day, I am making 3.2 lakhs per day as profit, because this is profit per customer, not revenue. So I am making 3.2 lakhs per day with my ads, with my whole business. That means your business is well optimized. If that number comes to 17 rupees, can you scale? No, it's because just a up and down of little bit of things and you would not make that kind of money. Well, some businesses scale at 17 rupees also, but how do they do that? Well, these businesses are like Parle-G, Maggi, all the consumer businesses that you see, which have crazy high volume and margin thin businesses. They still run at that scale is because they can manage that operations efficiently. You are a lazy fucker right now. So the problem with you is if I give you 17 as a number to scale, you would fuck up your business. And that's why I give you a very high number to scale, which is 2,000, 2,500. So that even if you do some errors, even if you get sick, even if you're not fine some days, and even if you're feeling procrastinating some days, you still are able to grow the business. But when I'm coaching people who are on 1,000 crore turnover, 2,000 crore turnover. At that time, we try to optimize on literally 17 rupees per customer, because we actually know that we can make 70 rupees per customer, but the number of orders we get daily is around a lakh. That is 17 lakhs a day of business. Profit. Before I get to the next point, a book recommendation. 80-20. Very simple book. There would be a book called 80-20 on Amazon. I think green color ka book hoga, something like that. Yellow color se whatever. Just buy it. Link in description as well. But the 80-20 rule simply says this one thing, which is 20% of efforts, time, energy, everything would create 80% of the outcome, and 80% of the stuff that you do, which is time, energy, focus related, would create 20% of stuff. Now this is a book you need to read, because the next equation depends on this. That's why the next equation that we have is called as the Pareto's equation, which is called as the 80-20 of constraints. For simpler language, bottlenecks of the business. Now, you know, as a business owner, there are multiple bottlenecks in your business. The first thing you need to do, pause this video right now and write at least 5 to 10 bottlenecks that you have in your business. Let's say one of the bottlenecks you have is that my advertising is very expensive. Example. Let's say second bottleneck is I am not able to find good team members. Perfect. Let's say the third constraint you have in business is my conversion rates are down. Let's say you have these three constraints. Now the whole idea is to apply 80-20 rule to solve each constraint of the business. Now you would go to your ad manager or your advertising department person or whoever it is, your agency, you would go to them and simply ask this question: which are the 20% ads that are giving 80% of the money to us? Because if the Pareto's principle is true, it is true everywhere. The whole idea is you need to apply the 20, you find the 20% of ads that create 80% of the money, and you'd be surprised to know they are available in your ad account. Open your ad account and you would see them clearly. Then you see 20% of your emails that are getting 80% of the responses. Then you would see 20% of products selling 80% of the time. The whole idea is to double down on this 20% and not focus on the rest part of it. So let's say you are running 10 ads, out of that you saw 2 of them are just giving you the most amount of money. Just go and re-record those 2 ads at least 100 times. I am not exaggerating. 100 means 100. That means 1 on selfie, 1 on whiteboard, 1 while walking, 1 while sitting, 1 while lying down. I don't care. Just record 100 variations of it and you would be amazed to see the amount of money you can make in your life. The whole AI funnel career. When you saw my ads from the start of AI funnels to the end of AI funnels, I ran that funnel for a year. But in that year, I think AI funnels alone generated me around 18 to 20 crores. That one funnel had only 4 winning ads. Let me repeat if you don't understand the context. I would have recorded at least 800 ads for AI funnels in total. At a time, if you would go on Facebook ad library, type Himanshu Agrawal, you would see 1200 to 1300 ads running on my name. There were different graphic and video variations that were including 800 ads that I recorded in a 10-month period. Imagine how hard I would be going on it. But out of 800, I got 4 that were super of the super winners. Those were the scripts that I would say even in coma and people would buy. Like those were that scripts, right? Marketing agency would hate me for this. You would generate 10 leads a day, but software could generate 100 leads a day. There were like multiple scripts like these, like 4 scripts that were just killer. The whole idea is to shoot 100 ads, get 20 winning because 80-20. So 20% of 100, and then do 80-20 again on the same number, which is 20. 80-20 of that is 4. That means out of 100 you will get 4. Imagine I got out of 804. How much optimized my ad account would be and my campaigns would be, because every ad, what I'm doing is once I've got my 4 winners, I'm just re-recording them again and again and again and again and again and again, due to which the whole business just blows up with the same maintained cost per acquisition. Let's say the second constraint you have is a good team member. Well, very simple. See what 20% of platforms that you used which got you 80% of the team members that you have today. Very simple. So simply see how many good team members you have. Let's say you have 5 good team members and 25 are useless. Simply see where those 5 came from. Then see what is the 20% of your onboarding process or hiring process that constitutes of 80% of the result. Then see what are the 20% things in your culture that matters for 80% of performance. You got the idea. Take the constraint and find every 80-20 of that. Once you do, just double down on the 20s more and more and more, and you'll be amazed to see the result. Let's say the third one, last one, which is my conversion rates are low. Then simply see 20% of part of the pitch, which creates 80% of the sales. 20% of part of the pitch, which drops 80% of people. Solve these. and you're done. The whole idea is to apply 80-20 at every part of the business on micro and macroeconomics both. This next equation that I'm going to teach you will blow off your minds because this is my favorite one. And as a consultant, I use this every single day for all my clients. It just works wonderfully every single time. It is called as the rule of 20%. So equation number 6, this is called as 26% rule. And I would show you how easy it is to double your business right now. If you have this constant worry of, I cannot double my business, I don't know how to double my business, I'm going to tell you the most effective and the stupidest way to increase and double your business. It's very simple. You just need 3 numbers. Number 1, number of leads. That's the first number you want. What is the total number of leads your business is generating this month, or basically monthly? Got it? The second number you need is something called as price of product. That means or service, whatever you sell right now. What is the product or service price that you have right now? Again, very simple. The third thing, which is important, is called as conversion rate. So let's do some basic algebra right now as a 6-year-old. So let's say I'm getting 100 leads every month. Very simple. Can you generate 100 leads in your business? I think most of you can. If you can't, stop watching this channel, go to some other channel. If you generate 100 leads more than that, then I think this would make sense to you. So you're generating 100 leads a month. Very simple. Price of product or service. Let's say you sell something of 50,000 rupees, for an example, right? You can write your product or service price. And then third is conversion rate, like how much people you convert. So let's say price of your product or service is 1 lakh rupees, for example. You can write your own price of product or service. And the third thing is conversion rate. That means how many people you convert. So let's say 100 people, 100 leads, 100 prospects come to you, you convert 10% out of that. Now, to calculate the revenue of business, it is really simple. So I'm telling you one more way to calculate the revenue of your business. But if your business has multiple funnels or multiple products and services, then this is not useful. But for a very simple business, which is I get these leads, I convert them, I make them buy a product. For that kind of business is very simple. Just multiply these 3 numbers. So let's do that. I multiply these 3 numbers. So I multiply 100 by 1 lakh, which is how much? 1 crore. Multiplied by 10%. 10% of 1 crore is how much? 10 lakh rupees. That means the revenue of this business would be 10 lakh rupees. Very simple. 100 people, 10% conversion is 10 people multiplied by product price, which is 10 lakh rupees. You do it anyways, it would come the same number. So basically you have 10 lakhs of revenue in the business. Now I want to double this business. Now as a consultant, my whole job is to understand what to change in the business so that this doubles. Earlier, I was used to panic. I used to think a lot. Then you give some tips to client, then they used to work. Then the business doubles. But now it is very simple for us. I have trained my team on this as well. And the reason I'm telling you this equation is because I have solved this as an equation for my business. That's why I'm telling it for yours. See, I am a consultant. I cannot grow my business because everyone wants consultation from Himanshu. But that's where the bottleneck is. How much depth I would have gone into to calculate this, which I'm teaching you right now, so that my team members can also double any business. Now I'll give you a magic equation. The second equation is called as the rule of 26%. Now what I need to do is I need to increase every number by just 26%, nothing else. I'll show you an example. If I'm generating 100 leads right now, every month, I need to generate 26% more. Now tell me as a business owner, is it possible to generate 126 leads? Yes or no? I think everyone would say yes. Because if you're getting 100 leads, you have cracked something. Just do it more, a little bit better, little bit optimized, you will generate 26 leads more, right? 126 leads that you generate. You need to increase your product price by 26%. If you can sell it for a lakh, I think you can easily sell it for 1.26 lakhs. As simple as that. If you're selling for something for 10,000, do it 12,600. If you want to do something for 5,000, do the calculation and just increase by 26%. That's the whole idea. And the third thing is increase conversion rate by 26%. So if you're converting 10% right now, you start converting 12.6% right now. So tell me one thing, if you improve your sales script, if you improve your follow-up, if you improve your team, if you improve your sales management, would you be able to increase the conversion rate by 2.6%? I think pretty much yes. Now here's the magical part. Multiply these 3. I'll tell you what comes. Exactly 20 lakhs. Exact. So the whole idea is, if I can just do little bit of optimization to increase this by 26%, this by 26%, and this by 26%, I'll get the result I want. Now, can you increase your price every time 26%? No. So increase this by 52%, leave this 0, increase this by 26%. The whole idea is just see which thing has saturated. That means this cannot be increased, for example. It can be, by the way, just to give you in context, but let's say it cannot be. The whole idea is to just take the thing that cannot be worked, cross it out, and just play with the other two factors and increase them by 52, 52, 26, 26, whatever it is. Point of the fact is, it's really easy to double your business. The whole idea is you're not clear on your numbers. It's my humble request. Stop watching any video on YouTube, but get clear on your numbers. The day you get clear on your numbers, you would not need any kind of motivational video. You would not need any kind of story videos. You would not need anyone in the world but yourself. You would have never seen me in any business event, in any motivational talk, anywhere except of my students. And the simple reason for the fact of is I'm clear on my numbers. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to ask anyone. The reason you keep on running after videos after videos after videos because you don't know what shit are you doing. If you calculate this, you'd be clear on what you're doing and you don't need to ask anyone because maths cannot be wrong. Numbers don't lie. Before I start the 7th equation, let me tell you a very quick story. As a business owner, when I was in my starting age, I was really confused. I was really frustrated. I was really just irritated with this fact of anxiety. And the whole anxiety was, what if my customers increase? What if I'm not able to serve? What if this happened and I'm not able to do this? What if that happens but I'm not able to do this? And this was continuously happening with me. And when this was happening, it was a constant pressure of anxiety, and I used to get frustrated with it sometimes because how much anxiety I would take at all, right? So I'm confused that if I get 100 customers more, my team cannot support it. So how much should I increase of members? Oh, again stuck. If I get 1,000 leads extra, if I convert at the same rate, I would not be able to make the same money. Oh, so what should I do now? And it was just constant this fear. But once I got clear on my numbers, bro, I'm telling you, I am living the most anxiety-free life. I'm in Zen technically while running the most complicated businesses that you would see. I run a tech business, multiple agencies, a acquisition business, a coaching. Like imagine with all these, I'm in Zen. Why? Because my numbers are clear. So if anyone asks me any question, I know exactly why I'm doing that. A lot of you have commented below the videos, which is that I like the way you think. I like the way you clear thinking and all this. The reason that all comes is because I'm clear on this. This is not having clutter. That's why this will not have clutter. I don't need notes. I don't need to talk to someone. I don't need to watch videos before making videos for you because it is all what I'm sharing as my experience. This is what I've calculated for my businesses. That is what I calculate for all my acquisitions that I do. And that's why I'm teaching you how to do it. And the sole reason we are making these videos is for one reason. All the people that I acquire, it's forced, it's compulsory for them to watch these videos so that they're clear on their business. And boy, they scale really fast. So here's the equation number 7, which you can use at multiple places. But before I go into that, I need to explain you the concept of pipelines. So the concept is called as pipeline. Now always understand this. There are 3 levels of business owners, right? These are basically the basic Garib business owners, which I call. Don't know shit, thinks they are the king of the world, have a lot of ego, but don't know shit. Second is basically the medium business owner, who is basically, hey, I have some team, I'm making some money, I'm making some profits, but I don't know exactly what is happening, but it's just going well. And then are the experts, the business owners who have multiple businesses and know exactly what is happening in their business and exactly what would happen in the business in future. Now, all these basic and Garib business owners that are right now, who have the highest ego in the world, what they are focusing on is something called as customers. And yeah, if you are focusing on customers right now, how can I get more customers? You're a basic and Garib business owner because you have not cracked the first 2 simple pillars of a business, which is called as marketing and sales. Bro, there are 8 pillars in a business and the rest 6 are most complicated than the first 2, right? Just for those who don't know, there is marketing, sales, operations, finance, HR, R&D, management, legal. These are the 8 different pillars of a business. You are just focused on these 2, how to get more customers. And if you're asking me the question again and again, how to get more leads and more customers, you can't even crack the first 2. I am telling you, once you start understanding the rest 6, your mind would be fucked to a different level. The whole idea is, if you're focused on this and you just keep on solving this and you think this is the business, no, this is the start of the business. Real business is still left in your life. When you go to this, that's when real business would start. Now, as a basic and Garib business owner, you're just focused on marketing and sales, and the whole idea is to get more customers. Yes, it is important. Yes, you will question that in the start, and it's fine. But if the whole crux, it's been 3-4 years in your business and you haven't cracked this, bro, you are doing something completely wrong. Just get your ego down and get help. Second thing is the medium business owner. Now, this medium business owner has a different problem. They are continuously looking for something called as team. That means a person who is a medium business owner, even at a 10, 100 crore business turnover, this person is continuously looking for team, right? And the whole idea that they have in mind is operations and HR. That means they are focusing on basically these three pillars of the business, right? And the whole idea is to just focus and optimize these three because they have cracked marketing and sales. They know they can grow it. They know this will continuous. This will be continuous. The whole idea is how can I sort this out so that the business becomes more valuable and the business becomes headache free. Now the third part that comes is the expert business owner. They don't focus on the team part, they don't focus on the customer part, but they focus on something called as partnerships or acquisitions. That means the whole idea is to get more and more acquisitions so that I can get their team, their customer, their database, their brand, everything at once, and partnerships, which is which person I can partner up with to grow my business faster. And these partnerships are not a partnership where, oh, you do an email on my list, I do an email on your list. These partnerships are like huge 10-year deals. The whole idea is a person who's sitting on the expert level will only focus on partnership and acquisitions. Do you think that Mukesh Ambani ever thinks about how will the operation of this company sustain? Or do you think Mukesh Ambani thinks about, oh, how do I hire this person? No. They just focus on these two things, which is partnership and acquisitions. How can I acquire this next company to destroy the next industry? And how can I partner up with this person to get into a new international territory? That's it, nothing else. The person who's on medium business owner just focuses on team. And the person who's a really great business owner will always focus on how to get more customers and this stupid, again, repeatable question. Now, the whole idea is pipeline. The reason you will go from here to here is because of pipeline. The reason you will go from here to here is pipeline. This person continuously asks this question of customer and leads is because the person hasn't built a pipeline of customer and leads. This person always focuses on operations, HR, finance, all these pillars is because this person has not built a pipeline of team members. And this person is on the way of building pipeline to partnership and acquisitions, and that's what they want to do. Now, once you know that pipeline is the most important thing, this would help us scale more. We know this. So how do we get this into an equation? And that's why I present to you equation number 7. Team per customer or lead to the ratio of pipeline per customer or lead is equal to scale without headache. If you want to scale without headache, and you have this constant question of how do I increase my team, when should I increase my team, how much people should I hire? The reason you have these questions is because you don't understand the concept of pipelines. Understand that once you have a pipeline of leads, let's say I give you an email list of people, 1 lakh people who know you. I think you would never have a problem of getting more customers. Why? Because you can just continuously email those people, get calls booked and convert them into whatever you want. So that means the problem of getting customers is solved now. The whole idea is how do I get to the next level of problem? Well, the next level of problem is team. Team per customer or lead. Let's say you have 10 team members right now for an example. And the total number of customers you have divided by total number of customers you have. Let's say you have 100 customers for yourself. Example. This can be 12, this can be 15,000. I don't care. You just take the total number of team members and you take the total number of customers that you have right now. That means the total team of yours is able to handle these many number of people. Now, the reason I'm taking total team and not only the operational team or the HR team or the operations team or the delivery team only is because a salesman is responsible to get in the customer. A marketer is responsible to generate the lead of that customer. An operation person is responsible to delivering that customer. That's why the whole team is involved, including the management, to get those people retained through the business, not grow, retained through the business. So 10 team members are handling 100 customers to the ratio of what is your pipeline. This simply means that you should have a list, an Excel sheet of people continuously applying a job in your company who are pre-interviewed, pre-qualified, and just one call away to get a job. I will just post some screenshots over here and my team will put that. But that's basically we having a list of amount of sales closers, EA, business coaches, marketers, copywriters, whatever I would need in my business. We have literally different Excel sheets of that. Just to give you an example, in backend closers, my sales closer Excel sheet has around 700 closers ready to work with us tomorrow. Let me repeat if you can't comprehend the idea. We have 700 closers in Excel sheet ready to work with us tomorrow. That means this whole thing has been done, not by me obviously. Okay, by the way, this whole thing is done by a HR. So for all those who HR to sirf rangoli banata hai, no, that's not true. HR does many works, but you don't know what work to give them. The idea is this: the HR, I literally tell them I want this kind of people. They go like, okay. They go to LinkedIn, Naukri.com, Indeed, every platform available. They source out the right people. They run ads on them, get the right people, calls them, takes an interview, do the police verification, everything that is needed just before hiring, whatever is needed, do all of that with them, and then simply tell, I think you are pre-qualified for us. Whenever we have a need, we will call you. And we have 700 of closers. I think I have 115 EAs. I think we had 20 copywriters, different needs. I think we have 100 business coaches. So different departments need different needs. But my HR has a list of that. So imagine 700 closers in an Excel sheet. Now, someone says, Himanshu, I'm sending you 1,000 leads tomorrow. Can your sales team do the work? Here's my answer. Yes. But the answer of you would be no. Why? Because you're not ready for the opportunity. I am. I can just take the 700 people, simply blast off an email. Hey, we are hiring. Just apply right now. Let's get selected. You are already the selected one. Tomorrow, your joining is there, and we start the training from tomorrow. Out of 700, I would not say everyone would apply, but 6 would, and 6 can handle 1,000 people. The idea is very simple. I have a pipeline. So the idea is pipeline. So let's say for one department, so this is 10 people, 100. In my whole pipeline, including all the departments, all the positions that are open, let's say I have 100 people in my pipeline, 100 divided by the total number of customers I have, which is again 100. This ratio tells me how much I can scale without headache, and would I not have people when I'm trying to scale. So 10 by 100 is basically 1 by 10, which is 0.1 to the ratio of 1. Now tell me one thing. If I have 100 people waiting to join my business as a team member whenever I want, would I be able to scale? Yes. Why? Because I know whenever I scale and I need urgently some position, then I need pre-qualified people who are a culture fit, value fit, blah, blah, blah fit for my company. And I have 100 of them while I need 10 to serve 100. So if someone says, hey, I'm sending 1,000 people in your business, that means this number needs to be into what? 10. Because they're sending 1,000 people. So I would need how many? 10 times more people to handle these kind of people, right? Do I have them available? Yes. That means I can win. The whole idea is, if your team to pipeline ratio is exactly equal to scale you're looking. Let's say you're looking for 8 times scale. And this is 10, this is 100. 10 into 8 is 80. 80 is less than 100. We can scale. If I want 120, so 100 into 12, this is 100. 120 is greater than 100. I cannot scale. The whole idea is this. If team to the ratio of pipeline, if team is smaller to compare to the scale you want to reach to the pipeline, you have won the game. It's fine. Keep on going. But I'll tell you what is your business about. It's 10 to 100 over here and 0 to 100 over here because you don't have a pipeline. So obviously you can't scale and you'll be having a fear of scale. Tell me this one thing. If your brain knows that if I scale, I would be fucked up and it has a fear, would you be able to scale? The answer is no, because your brain is having a constant fear. You will not get new ideas. You're not motivated to work. You're lazy to work. You procrastinate a lot. You don't want to take action. The reason all this is happening is because your brain has a fear, and the fear is of success. The fear is not of failure. The fear is of success. You know that if I reach over there, this much headache would come, and that's why I don't want to scale over there and find over here. And you would be stuck on that position for life. But if you calculate this number, and now you have told your brain that, bro, this is 10 by 100. This is 100 by 100. I can easily go 10x. Your brain would at least try for a 2 or a 3x, and believe me, you'll reach because your brain believes now. Now, the next equation is not by me. It's by Alex Hormozi, and this is called as an offer equation. It is very simple to understand. For those who don't know, I'm telling you that. Later, you can watch his videos and understand that in more depth because it is his equation. The simple is offer equals to outcome. That means what is the desired outcome that the person wants. Outcome into probability. That means what is the probability of that person achieving that result divided by effort into time. Here's the whole crux of the whole thing. You need to get the denominator more down. You need to get the numerator up. Why? Because offer would be directly proportional to the numerator and would be inversely proportional to the denominator. So the whole idea is you need to get this numerators up. That means increase the outcome. So if you promise, I'll help you make a crore, you can promise 10 crores and you can charge more. Because of that, your offer would become more. Second is probability. If you feel that you have, now this would come from your success rate number that we have already calculated in one of the previous equations. If that is around, let's say 12%, if you get that to 24%, you can show that to customers, which would increase the probability of them buying, and that's why probability of getting the result, and your offer would become stronger. Effort. How much effort does the customer take in order to achieve that result? If you can decrease that, you can charge more. If I am, let's say, a content creator coach, and I'm teaching a content creator how to make videos, I would charge less. But if I'm recording their videos, I would charge more. And that's why agencies normally charge more. The reason they do that is because the effort has gone zero. The effort is literally negligible compared to they need to learn, they need to set up, they need to record their own video, edit their own video, versus the agency saying, I'll do everything for you, just sit at home. That would decrease their effort to only shooting the video and nothing else, due to which they charge more. And secondly is time. How much time do the customer take to reach the result? If you can decrease that time, well, you can charge more. So if you say 6 months is what I take to help you lose fat, and if you say next time I'll take 2 months only, well, obviously you can charge more, because everyone wants to lose weight in 2 months and not 6 months. Now the whole crux of this whole thing is take all these factors in and simply see where your offer stands. So simply see what is the outcome your offer generates and how can you increase that. What is the probability of your offer and increase that. What is the effort the person is taking right now and how can you get that effort lesser. And then you have time, like how can you decrease the time from this to this so that the customer pays more. All of this would increase the conversion rate of your offer, the quality of your offer, and will make you have less headache because your offer is better. So everything in the business would fall in place automatically. Now if you want to learn in this in depth, just go to Alex Hormozzi's channel. He would have this, I think, somewhere in his book as well. Just read that out and it would be wonderful. If you're getting value till now, subscribe button is below. Please click on that. Now this equation that I have for you is not for the business level actually, but for the business owner himself. Now this is the equation number 9, and equation number 9 is basically E plus R equals to O, and this is really important. Before that, I want to tell you a story. Albert Einstein, or I don't know, there was some scientist. He had his whole factory of experiments, everything. He was sleeping. Someone came, told him that your factory has started burning. There's fire over there, and the whole factory would come down. And he went running to that factory and saw everything is already burnt. There's nothing he can do. The person who called him said, everything is destroyed. Our life is fucked. I think we should just quit, and everything is burnt down. The universe does not want us to do it. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get home. But the person who was a scientist said that it's actually good that everything burned down, because everything was a failed experiment. I can start tomorrow new. It is just a game of perspective. And that's why this equation comes in play as a business owner, not on the business level, which is event plus reaction is equals to outcome. Understand this. Event is something that is not in your hand. It is made by nature. It is made by life. It is made by the universe. Every event that is happening in your life is not in your hand. You got into accident, was not in your hand. You were born at some place, not in your hand. You were born in certain family, it was not in your hand. Every event that is happening is not in your hand. Most of the, at least 99% of events, I would say, are not in your hand. And because they're not in your hand, you can't control it. But one thing you can control is the reaction that you do on that particular event. It was the same event, which is fire in factory. And it is all about how you look at it as a perspective. Now, a business owner, one would say, oh, everything is done. I think I should quit. My business is done forever, blah, 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 and would quit. That is one reaction, which is reaction number 1. The second reaction is, well, everything is burnt. I can start everything new. And this time it will be more optimized. Well, that is reaction number 2. I'll tell you my personal story. I have blocked my ad accounts at least 13 times. I went into a depression of 6 months. I lost all the money I had in my bank account and then started again with IC after doing a job of 6 months in a company called Full School. It takes effort, it takes courage, it takes guts. I've done that. That's why I see what it was today. The whole idea is this. If my reaction was, oh, my ad account is blocked, my money is stuck, I think I should never run ads. This reaction would not give me the outcome that I have today. But a reaction of, my ad account is blocked, so what? I'll try the second one. Oh, blocked again, third, blocked again, fourth, blocked again, fifth. And I just keep on doing it. And by the 13th ad account, now it was working. I have lost all money by now. But I'm still like, let me do a job, let me get 12-15,000 salary, put all of that into ad spend again and start the business again. And I did that again and again and again and again and again for the first year of IC. And that's why we are here where we are today, because we did not quit in the worst scenario that we ever got. Why would I quit today? Why would I get down today? That's why as a business owner, your reaction is the most important thing towards any event. You're watching this video right now. That's an event. The reaction you have towards this video is 2. Number 1, oh, this is too tough. I don't think I can do it. Let me just stop the video. Well, outcome is something else. Second reaction, I think this is hard, but I'll watch it 3 times. Outcome is something else. The whole idea is what you can control is reaction, not the outcome, not the event. The problem is we cry over this and we cry over this, which we don't need to cry about because that's not in our hands. The outcome is not in our hands because the event is designed by nature and the outcome is designed by nature. What we can do is only react to it. And that's why I would say react better. React proactively so that you actually get a better outcome for yourself in the world. Also, subscribe if you're liking these videos. Before I get to this next particular equation, I want to just make one thing clear to you. Psychological benefit in business is one of the biggest advantages that you can get as a business owner. What do I mean by psychological benefit? See, whenever you have one kind of a thing already accumulated and because of that you are mentally free of that, is called as a psychological benefit. And this is the most underrated thing that business owners have. If I have a 4 crores cash reserve in my business, then I would never be having anxiety around my business because I know I have 4 crores in the bank account sitting. So whenever I want, I can use them and that is profit after tax. So I don't need to worry about anything. I can spend that money into the business whenever I want. The whole idea is to build this whole thing. Now to understand that, I need to make you explain multiple terms. Number one is called as psychological benefit or PB, which I've already made you explain. The second concept is called as cash reserves. Now always understand that there are multiple bank accounts working inside the business. So this is the business, this is you. Now this business makes some money, does some expense, gets some profit, XYZ. So this business has 2 accounts. One is called as the operations account. That means all the salaries, expenses, everything would be done from this account. Now most business owners only have one bank account and they rely on that for the whole business, which is not a good idea. And that's why you need a second bank account, which is called as a cash reserve account. So in the same bank account, you can have 2 things. You can talk to your branch manager about that, or you can create 2 separate bank accounts. Now this amount is the operations account. So let's say I did 10 lakhs in revenue, I did 4 lakhs in expense and 6 lakhs is left. Next month, I will not use 6 lakhs because I know I only need 4 lakhs to run the business. So I would basically keep 5 lakhs in the operation account itself and send 1 lakh to cash reserve account. And this is the account in which I am building cash reserves for my company so that I can use them in the long term and take bigger bets. I'll tell you about this one thing, a story. When there was India vs Pakistan World Cup that recently happened in Ahmedabad, at that time I was having, I think, 2.5-3 crores in cash reserves, if I'm not wrong. Due to which the World Cup came. When the World Cup came, we were like, we want to shoot a World Cup ad. Let's run ads in World Cup. Let's see what happens as a coach when you run ads on World Cup. So we were technically the first coach in India to run TV ads. So we contacted Hotstar, all these places, got the CPM rates, understood the whole maths. We were like, let's do a test. Now the whole test wanted 35 to 40 lakhs from us, in which the cost of production and the cost of running the ad both is included. So we spent around 35-40 lakhs. One night before we need to submit that, I called Paritosh. I'm like, Mumbai mein? Bole haan, come to my home. He came to my place. We sat down. We got everything sorted. Got the production. Next day, we got the actors, the costume, the places, everything done. Shot the whole ad. Got everything done. And everything was done. We were like, let's roll out the ad. We rolled out the ad. It ran for 7 days. And how many leads we got? 3. So I spent 35-40 lakhs, got 3 leads. Total waste of money and was a complete waste of time. Here's the lesson. I and my partner did not even flinch when we made a loss of 40 lakh rupees. Why? Because I had cash reserves. The whole idea in the business is to build more and more cash reserves for your business, because the more cash reserves you have, the better it is, because you will live anxiety free and you can take bigger bets. Imagine if World Cup ads would have worked. No other coach knows it works. They would take a lot of time to execute it. Until that time, I would destroy the whole market if it worked, though it did not work. And similarly, I've done multiple tests in my life which have worked, due to which I have scaled to the level I have scaled, because till the time other person understands, oh, this is working, let me also try, till that time, I just destroy the whole market and it just doesn't work anymore because I've saturated it. So the whole idea is speed. To get speed, you need cash reserve, because if speed is with fear, you will not move with speed. And the fear is only that I don't have the money. But if you're building cash reserves, you would always be worry free that I have the money and that's why I can spend it, and that's why I don't care about it. Example number 2. To make videos like this, it costs money, it costs time, it costs effort. And let's say this video gets only 300 views. I still don't care. And the reason is cash reserves. I've made enough money that if the video does not work, or even 10 videos don't work, I don't care literally. And the reason is I have cash reserves, and those cash reserves help me get the anxiety out of my way while I'm executing, so that I can put my whole heart and energy into the work and not think about the outcome that would come. And that's why for every business owner, it becomes the most important part to collect more and more cash reserves. So the equation that I'm trying to teach you, the equation number 10 is very simple, which is psychological benefit customer number. That means what is the number of customers I need to get as soon as possible to get a psychological benefit as a business owner. That's the number I'm trying to calculate, which equals to fire number for company, not for personal. Now, what is FIRE number? Well, it is basically financial independent retire early, something like that number. One of my clients, Sharan, is famous for showing this FIRE number again and again. But there's FIRE number for you personally to retire, and there's secondly the FIRE number that a company also needs to retire on the level of making money, because you know that if I have this kind of money, I can sustain my company for 12 years straight without thinking about getting any new customers. And that gives you so much power that you can't even imagine, because you know for 12 years straight, nobody can get you out of business because you have built the cash reserves. So that's why you need a FIRE number for the company level divided by PPC. Now, for those who are watching this video continuously, great. Hats off, very good. It's profit per customer for those who are not watching the video till now. So profit per customer, when you divide that number by profit by customer, you basically get a customer number. That means these are the number of customers you need to acquire as soon as possible so that you can make a X amount, which is the psychological benefit customer number. Now here's how you do it. Now, let's say I want to calculate this number for my company. So what I would do is I'll calculate FIRE. How do I calculate FIRE? Very simple. I simply take the monthly fixed cost. What did I say? Monthly fixed cost, not variable cost. So salaries, software cost, all the basic needs that are required to sustain a business, which would be a fixed cost. Let's say my fixed cost is 5 lakhs for now. Multiplied by 25. Now, why do you multiply it by 25? There's a 4% rate, there's inflation, blah, 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 but everything included. Just multiply it by 25. If you want a detailed analysis, just go to Google, type FIRE number calculator, put your numbers over there, you'll get a better number. But for now, just multiply it by 25. Divided by PPC, which is profit per customer. Now, let's say my monthly fixed cost is 5 lakh rupees. I need to multiply that by 25 divided by profit per customer. Now let's take the earlier scenario. In my profit per customer was 2000 rupees because 1000 rupees CPA, 3000 rupees average order value. So it was around 2000 rupees. That means to reach this number where I get a particular psychological benefit, and this always obviously is achieved in the long term, not in the short term. And the moment I get this number, I would be so relaxed because I know this is my goal. Because if I ask you what's your goal right now, you might say, oh, I want to make 1 crore. कहाँ से आया? किसने दिया? How did you reach 1 crore? Oh, I want to make 10 crores. How did you reach 10 crores? The idea is that idea was given by society, not by you. Someone on the internet said, oh, I made 1 crore. So you're like, oh, I also want to make 1 crore. But why? What's the point of making 1 crore? Why not 1.1 crores? Why not 0.9 crores? But why only 1 crores? It's because it was given by society. That's not how pro businessmen create goals. Pro businessmen actually do the calculation behind their goals and then set the goals and not randomly set any goals. My goal in the start was to reach this number, because if I reach this number, then I know my business can never die for next 12, 15, 10 years, because I know it would self-sustain itself. Now here's the magical part. I do the multiplication now, which will come to approximately, I need 6250 customers. How many? 6250 customers to get a psychological benefit, because the magical part is this. 5 lakh into 25 is around 1.25 CR. That is 1.25 CR. That means I would need this kind of money in my bank account, which is basically the FIRE number of my company divided by the profit per customer that I'm getting right now. That means I need these number of customers in order to reach a particular goal. So my goal should be what? My goal should not be to make this amount, but my goal should be to get these many customers in a year. Because in a year, if I can get these many customers, I would be able to create this kind of wealth, which would give me a psychological benefit, and that psychological benefit cannot destroy me, because I know I can run my company for next 25 months without even thinking. So for 2 years, I'm set, because I have this kind of amount left, and if I just spend that amount, divide by 5 lakhs again, I would have 25 months left, and this 25 months would be enough for me to create a new strategy, new system, new technique to get more customers and take the business from there. But the idea is, get your first this amount ready. This amount, whenever it's ready, I cannot tell you, but the amount of power you feel inside you to grow the business more is enormous. And by the way, if you invest this money at 12% rate, you can do your own calculations. But for the sake of it, if you just put this money aside, let's say you made this money, you get a 12% return on it, and you leave it for 20 years, you know what this amount would be? 12 crores. That means you took your 1.25 crores and literally kind of 10x'd it at just a very nominal interest rate for a very nominal of time in just your operations account of the business. Forget what you're taking out as a business owner. That means you know you're not fixed for 25 months, but maybe you're fixed for next 20 years, because this is just a psychological benefit. It never happens that you would not be able to figure out a new technique in 3 months, 6 months, 10 months. You never need 25 months of money. But the reason we are keeping it aside is so that you can put it somewhere in the markets, keep earning an interest on that, and that's 12 crores extra that you have made for yourself as profit. That means in 20 years period, you are making around 60 to 70 lakhs profit every single year without doing anything. Imagine the power that you get with that. And if you are putting that money 1.25 CR at 12% somewhere else, you are getting approximately 14 lakhs a year separately, which is 1.2 lakhs every month separately, just because you invested that money correctly. By the way, there's something called as SWP. Too long of a video it will become. I'll not explain right now. If you want a video on that, just put SWP in the chat box. I'll teach you. So crux of the idea is you need the psychological benefit because you know you'll be safe for 20 years after that, and that's why you need to calculate the FIRE number, which is nothing but monthly fixed cost multiplied by 25. You can do better calculations by opening a FIRE calculator, divide by profit per customer, which we have already calculated in this video previously. So go over there, watch it. You will get the exact number of customers you want, and the goal that you should have is this only, and you should run behind this number as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and put your every effort possible to get to this number as soon as possible. By the way, it took me 3 years. The whole ICE journey is, I think, 5 years. In that, I took 3 years to build this number. But here's the game. The moment I built this number, in the next 2 years, whatever happened is history, and you know it. We became the biggest. So for 3 years, I was the smallest. I was nothing. I was just a player. But 3 years, I know what I'm doing, while others are not doing this. And I built this number for me. I got this number in 3 years. It took me 3 years to get these many customers. But once I got it, I had cash reserves. And that's why I become the most unstoppable one, because I have the most money to spend to acquire a customer now, because that's sitting in my bank account that none of my competition ever have or will have, because I've already built that amount. And I just keep on using that. And next 2 years, I just dominate. That's how it works. I get a lot of questions from young entrepreneur, which is my business investor ready? Can I get investors for my business? And multiple questions like this. So, in this equation, you will have absolute clarity on can you get investments or not, and should you get investments or not, and is your business investment ready or not. And to calculate all of this, should you take a loan for your business and everything like that, what you need to do is you need to understand this next equation. But before I explain you the equation, the important part is that you subscribe to the channel, and the second part is understanding these terms. Number one, investor. Well, an investor can be a bank, can be a person, can be someone who gives for equity. You can borrow the money, everything can happen. But basically, you getting capital infused inside your business. Capital infused inside your business in order to grow the business more or sustain the business, whatever you want to do with that capital. So basically, investment is capital, getting capital. Investor is a person who invests. Now that investor can be a bank, can be a person, can be a friend, can be someone you take loan from, can be a relative, can be anyone in the world, right? Now, the second question you need to ask is, why do actually investors invest in companies? So think about this. There's a company which is loss making, but still investors invest. There's a company which has not created any revenue, but still investors invest. There's a company which has created not even a product, just to have an idea, but they can still invest money. There are still companies who are making 50 crore yearly revenue, but are not investable. The only thing you need to understand from a real rational investor perspective, the reason investors put in loss-making companies and put in non-revenue making companies and put in just ideas to make a 100x or 200x return. I'm talking about investors who put huge capital and their whole business is around investments. That means if they don't recoup their investment, they would not be able to survive, which I do. And for those who don't know me, my name is Himanshu Agrawal. I'm the founder of Originates, which is an acquisition company where we take portfolio of companies, we hyperscale them, and we take a cut in their royalty, equity, everything. The whole idea is this. Me as an investor in that company, the idea that I want is I want a greater return on my capital than I would put anywhere else. So think about this. An investor has 10 crores. Example. Now this 10 crores, he can put in the stock market, get 15% return, put into real estate, get 10 to 15% return, whatever it is. Just appreciation, rent is separate. This can be put into gold, another percent. So the whole idea is, if I can get this kind of percentage, why would I put in startup? Because the whole idea in the investor's mind is risk to reward ratio. That means what risk am I taking to get what reward? So stock markets is comparatively safe to a startup, right? That means I can get 15% reward for a lesser risk of stock market, so it's a good investment. A startup is very risky, very high risk, but the reward is also 500x. That means now the ratio is still same. The idea that the investor goes into is my ROIC percentage, write this down everyone, ROIC percentage bigger than the current market conditions? So the equation that you want to follow, which is equation number 11, is ROIC percentage greater than 25%. If that is the case, you have a business which is a capital infused business. That means you can take a loan, you can get investors, you can get everyone, and you would not have headache with the investors poking you around because you have a ROIC percentage greater than 25. Now some companies can run at greater than 15, some companies cannot even run at greater than 70%. I am just giving you a rough ballpark just to get the concept. So ROIC percentage, if greater than 25%, equals to capital infusion ready business, CIR business. That means this business you can put more capital in to grow the business more. If I have a hotel, the hotel is not worthy enough to have become a capital infused business that I can get investors for a hotel. I can do that, I can convince them, I can influence them, and they can put the money, that's fine, but it's not technically, rationally a business that should be done like that. But if I have a franchisee of hotels, now it becomes a capital infused ready business. I'll show you how, because the ROIC percentage increased by 25%. Question number 1, how do you calculate ROIC percentage? Very simple. ROIC percentage is equals to profit after tax of this year, okay, divided by investment in the business, right? Total investment that you did in the business multiplied by 100. This is how you calculate ROIC percentage. Now let's say my business did a profit after tax of 50 lakhs, example, divided by the total money I invested in this business for 2 crores. Let's say I opened a petrol pump which costed me 2 crores and I made a profit of 50 lakh rupees, example, multiplied by 100. That is what? 25%. That means my business now is a capital infused business because I can take a loan of 2 crores, pay an interest of 12%, 10%, 8%, whatever it comes to, and still have profit at the end as a business owner after paying the EMIs, is because I have a 25% ROIC. So the whole idea is your business better than the market conditions? And if that is happening, you can put more capital into your business. I'll give you a very simple example of ICE, okay? Now, the numbers would be absurd, but it just shows me that I can take a loan on credit card to put my ad spend, and that would show you here. So let's say I did a 1 crore PAT, example, divided. What did it took me to start the business? I think 1 lakh of ad spend, 10,000 rupees domain, some salaries here and there. So example, it took me 2 lakh rupees. That means n multiplied by 100. You tell me what is the ROIC percentage? Very simple. A 5,000% return on capital. That means I put 2 lakh rupees and I made 1 crore rupees PAT. Yeah, I rotated this money as well, that's for sure, because I put ad spend and do it. But at the end, I got a 1 crore PAT. That simply tells me that my ROIC percent is 5,000%. Is it bigger than stock markets? Way bigger. Is it bigger than real estate? Yes. Is it bigger than Bitcoin? Probably yes, because I did that in 1 year. Will investors infuse money? They will infuse heck lot of money. It's just that can you convince them or influence them to make a decision with you? That's what the main idea is. But to make a business that is investor ready, you need to calculate ROIC percentage and just make sure that for your business it is greater than 25%. How do you calculate yours? Very simple again. Take the PAT of year, this year, whatever financial year went, and then investment in the business that you did and multiply that by 100. You get your ROIC percentage. If greater than 25, not so good, but you're investor ready. I think it should be greater than 200% because all the acquired companies that I have right now, they have more than 200% ROIC. So the whole idea is to get the ROIC percentage greater than 200%, and that's when you have nailed it down, because you have a profitable business that can run without investors and can get you money. And that's why whenever an investor comes, it's a cherry on the cake, not the whole cake. Don't get investors in the business like they're the full cake, because If they come in and they know that without us, this person cannot exist, you would be in a liability scenario. If you know that my business makes profit and I can buy out the investor whenever I want, at that time, you would have the power to say a no to a lot of things that the investor doesn't understand. And that's why you would not have an investor liable business. Now, if you have this question in your mind that can I scale my business or not, then you need to calculate something called the scaling quotient. Scaling quotient is nothing but an equation that allows you to understand about your business that can I scale or not. How do you calculate that? Well, we come to equation number 12. By the way, if you're getting value, without any doubt, just click on the subscribe button because it takes a lot of effort to make videos like this and nobody's putting a content like this on the internet for free. The reason I'm doing it because I don't want anything from you. Now, how do you calculate scaling quotient? So scaling quotient, it's very simple to calculate. By the way, we have already calculated it. It's just that we have given a new name. It's nothing but revenue divided by expense. Very simple. Now, let's do it for an example business. Let's say my revenue of the business for the whole year was 3 crores. Okay. And the expense that my business took was 1 crore. That means I have a scaling quotient of 3. 3. Right? Now, if my scaling quotient is equal to or greater than 3, then I am scale ready. Why? Because this number gives us an idea of that my revenue is 3 times bigger than my expense, which tells me one thing, that if you scale more, then the maximum you would drop to is 2:1 ratio maybe. So next year, maybe I do 8 crores, but my expense also goes 4 crores. Well, still I have 4 crores left. So the whole idea is, if this year I made 2 crores profit, which is 3 minus 1, next year it doubles or 2.5x and I make 8 crores revenue, but my expense also increased by 4 times, which is 4 crores. I would still make 4 crores, which is 2 crores more profit. And secondly, my scaling quotient would come to 2. So at that time, I would stop scaling and try to optimize, either get this down or get this up in the same expense. Let me repeat. If my scaling quotient is less than 2, then the whole idea is to either decrease the expense, because if you decrease the expense, if I make this 50 lakhs, then my scaling quotient will become 6. Right? 3 by 50.5, which is 6. Or I need to increase this at the same expense. So my expense is 1 crore, but I make this 4 crores, let's say. So my now scaling quotient becomes 4. The idea is to keep your scaling quotient above 3, because if it is above 3, you would confidently scale your business. And even if you scale, you would be left with profits, even if your expense increases at scale. Why? Because your scaling quotient was above 3. If it was 2, let's say, I made 2, 1, and I scale, I make 4 next year, but my expense also becomes 4, then I would have no profit left. So I scaled without reason. I scaled without profits, which you can do, but depends on the business to business. My idea is, don't do it. Maintain the scaling quotient of 3, because scaling quotient of 3 allows me to scale the business headache free. I would not need to cut out salaries. I would not need to fire people. I don't need to do conjuicy in my travels just because I tried to scale where my scaling quotient was below 3. So the whole idea is to have greater than or equal to 3. And if that is happening, you can scale your business pretty much easily. One of the questions I used to ask in my early days was also this, like how much market share I have right now, because the industry is new, the products are new, the people are new. So how much market share do I have? And it was a fun question to ask because you were so small that you can't calculate it. But anyways, I still tried to figure it out, and I got a formula that you can use to calculate your market share. And this market share actually tells you how much of a big person you are in the industry. And it's a very easy way to calculate. It's also an approximate way to calculate. You can never calculate it exact, because every day people die and take birth, due to which it goes up and down. And that's why you can't calculate the proper number, the exact number, but I'll just give you an idea of it, right? So equation number 13 is market share percentage. This is really important to calculate in your business, because this gives you an idea of how big you are in the industry or how small you are in the industry, and what is the capacity that you can reach to. I see a lot of business owners coming to be like, Himanshu, I'm already doing 100 crores turnover per year, and I think I've just saturated the market. There's no more market left, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, let's calculate this number, and you know what this comes to? 3%. That means they have a 3% market share, and they think they've saturated the marketplace. They have not saturated the marketplace. They have not become the biggest. They are just too new to the game because they have not calculated the number. So I say to you, calculate this number. You will know how big or small you are, and then move accordingly. How do you calculate it? Very simple. What you need to do is, first you need to get your yearly revenue. What is your yearly revenue right now? Okay. Divide that by 2 things. Number 1 is average order value multiplied by TAM, and then take all these numbers and divide and multiply that by 100. Now TAM would obviously be approximate, because you can never get that exactly. Let me explain these numbers. Yearly revenue, how much you collect in the bank in the whole year. Average order value, average order value of each customer. Each customer, how much they pay you on an average. TAM, total addressable market. That means how many people do you think are available in the market? Listen to me carefully. How many people available in the market? Not would buy, will buy, good fit for you. I'm not asking that. I'm just asking how many people available in the market. So let's calculate this. Let's say my yearly revenue is 1 crore. Okay, and I am serving to gym owners and I sell a 1 lakh rupees product. I sell to 100 people in a year, so I make 1 crore revenue. Perfect. Now I divide that by average order value. Let's say my average order value is 2500 rupees. So I have a 99 rupees workshop, then a 5000 or blah blah blah, whatever. Including all of that, I have 2500 rupees average order value, and I feel that out of 120 crore Indians in total, I think there would be at least 80,000 gym owners in the whole India. Now, if you're targeting dietitians, Google it up, you'll find a number. If you're targeting Demat account holders, Google it, you'll find a number. If you're targeting college professors, Google it, you'll find a number. Whatever your niche is, you have a TAM in that, total addressable market. You can Google it, ChatGPT it, you'll find some random numbers. Take an approximation guess, and that's your number. So I feel there are at least 80,000 gym owners in India. That's what I feel. So I'm writing it down. It can be more, it can be less. For the example and sake of this video, I'm writing it down. Now, I would do the calculations. So 1 crore divided by 2500 into 80,000 multiplied by 100 is approximately 5%. That means I have a 5% market share. Now think about this. A person who is doing 1 crore in the gym industry thinks like, oh, I'm the king. I make crore a year, bro. You know, and then he comes to me and I'm like, you have 5% market share. 5. That means 95% of the market is still left. So buckle up, my friend. We can at least go 10x over here and still have 50% market share. The whole idea is this. Now, this person knows that he can go more. Why? Because if this is coming to around 20 crores, if this is the potential of the market, so this below number, this thing AOV into time is called as potential of the market. The potential of the market is 20 crores. I'm doing 1 crore. It just simply tells me one thing. There's a lot of room left and I need to buckle up my seats and scale faster because there's a lot of room left. A lot of people I've seen make 10 lakhs a month, 12 lakhs a month. They feel like, oh, I'm the king, I'm making lakhs of mobility. Bullshit, bro. Like, where are you standing? You're not even a grain of sand on the whole beach. Like, what are you talking about? I get so many people who I've right now acquired, but when they came to me, they're like, Himanshu, it's just done. Like, we are in the arthritis space. We're doing 1 crore a year and this is I'm like, excuse me, let's just calculate it. It was 0.6%. So the whole idea is, once you calculate market share, you understand how big is the market, how much opportunity is in the market, and that's why you scale harder because you have convinced your brain logically on how big the opportunity is, and that's why you have a bigger drive and inspiration inside you, not just temporary motivation of YouTube videos, but a drive inside you to bet bigger and become bigger. One of the most important metrics you also need to know is something on how much do you make per employee, because the problem is you sometimes hire a lot of people and their profits go out, and then you fire a lot of people and their profits come back, and then you hire a lot of people and then your profits go out, and this keeps on happening and you're just confused every single time. Instead, what you should do is calculate this next equation. So this is equation number 14, and that's why the metric that comes to is called as RPE, which is revenue per employee. Now, how do you calculate revenue per employee? It is really, really simple. You simply take the revenue per month in your business. What is the total revenue every month that happens in your business, and divide that by the number of employees that you have, so that you get the revenue per employee. Like, on per employee, how much money does the company make? So if we take an example, let's say my revenue for this month was 10 lakh rupees. And my number of employees that I have right now in the company is, let's say, 10. That means I make 1 lakh per month per employee, right? That's the average it comes to. But that is not the most important part. The most important part is the ratio. So expense per employee, your average salary per employee, to the ratio of revenue per employee. That's the real game. Why? Because if, let's say, my average salary in the business is 15K per month, average salary. How do you calculate the average salary? Again, very simple. Take the total salary you pay inside the business to all the employees divided by the number of employees that you have in the business. So for example, let's say I pay 1.5 lakh in salaries every single month. I divide that by total number of employees is 10. So I get 15K salary on an average, right? So calculate yours will be different. But the idea is to calculate revenue per employee and expense per employee. Now let's say it is 15K per month. I put the ratio sign, and now the revenue per employee was 1 lakh a month. So I put 1 lakh over here. Now you would see that if you take this number, So I'll do better calculation. I'll just put 20 over here for simplicity. So I pay 20k per month on an average to my employees, and I make 1 lakh per employee. That means my ratio is what? 1:5. That simply tells me what? That my company is not optimized per employee. So either I need to increase the efficiency per employee, or I need to get salaries down and give less appraisals. Why? Because the ratio of the business is not making sense to me. I am paying too much for getting too less of the thing to be done. Now this number, as per me, should be equal to or greater than 7, right? The delta, the difference should be equal to or greater than 7, which tells me that my company is optimized for salaries of employees and I can scale more. That means if I pay 10 lakhs in salaries and I'm getting 70 lakhs of revenue every month, I'm good to go, because that is the pure science that I've come to in my business. You need to calculate yours, like what is an average where you're really happy about your business. It can be 5.2, it can be 7, it can be 9. I don't care. First, calculate these two numbers, EPE and RPE, and then find a month which was really good and see what was EP to RPE that month, and try to maintain that ratio for next of the months, and as you scale, so that you have the most optimized number for growth of your business. Now, if I get this number from 10k to from 20k to let's say 10k per month, now my ratio is 1:10. That means my company is hyper optimized, and when the company is hyper optimized, I know 7 is the ballpark I need to go to. I can give more appraisals, I can hire more team members, or I can increase salary of my team members or incentives of my team members, because it's fine. I can maintain till 7 and the company would still be profitable. The idea is to first calculate RP, then calculate EP. When you take a ratio out, it should be above 7 or equal to 7, and you're good to go over there. Now, before I go to the next one, just click on the subscribe button below and comment your favorite part till now, if you're watching this video still, because I'm coming to the equation number 15 that is going to blow off your minds. Now, equation number 15 is not just a single equation, but a combination of equations. So equation number 15 is nothing but equations of advertising, which simply means that what are the different equations, numbers and metrics you need to follow in order to have a proper advertising system. If you ask me, Himanshu, how did you scale on advertising so quickly, so loudly, and how did you become the biggest on that? Then it is all coming down to the metrics and economics of the whole funnel. Understand this, that whatever CPA you have right now, CPA is cost per acquisition, or basically CPL, which is cost per lead. If you're running free, it is cost per lead. If you're running paid, it is CPA, which is cost per acquisition. This number you want to get down, I understand it, but just by focusing on this number and thinking this will come down, that is not the correct way to think about it, because there are two elements to CPA. The one element on CPA is called as economics, or basically the maths. This is very important. A lot of people miss on this. And the second part is psychological. That means what on psychological level you are playing. Anything you want to become a master of, you need maths and psychology. You want to become the best chess player, you need to become a master of psychology. How the person is thinking, how am I thinking, what is their body language, what audience is thinking, what is the effect of this move on this person's brain, etc. And then maths, D5, S7, knight, F6, whatever. But basically you have your different maths and psychology combination. You want to become the best video editor, first is psychology. How is the video perceived? What is the story behind this video? Is this video premium? Is this video not premium? Is this video giving the effect that I want? Is it video creating the impact? Thinking about all that. And second is maths. What is happening at 126? What if I remove 5 seconds of this? What I add 8 seconds of this? How can I increase the watch time retention percentage? All that is maths. Anything you want to become the best at, just focus on the maths of it and psychology of it for long enough and you'll be best at it. The idea in this video is not on the psychology part. That's a separate video. If you want a video on psychology of ads, just drop down the word ads in the comment box and I'll make a separate video on that. But for now, the maths of the business. Now, to get the perfect CPA that you want, there are multiple metrics behind it, and we'll cover all of them right now in under 5 minutes. Number one is called as CPM. Number second is called as CTR, which is a percentage. Then we have something called as OBC to LPV ratio. Then we have something called as LPCR percentage. Then we have something called as OCV percentage again. And then we have something called as bump conversion rate, which is again a percentage. And these are different numbers that you need to get the best CPA that you want. Number one is CPM. CPM, that means the amount of money it requires to show your ad to 1,000 people. So go to your ad manager, find the CPM column, and you will find different numbers over there. That is basically, if it's showing 150 rupees, that means it takes you 150 rupees to show your ad to 1,000 people. You can decrease it by working on the psychological level, because CPM already gets reduced by 3 things: How big is the market? How much competition is there? And what creatives are you using? If your hooks are not good, your CPM would be high. So the idea is to make better hooks. That's why I work on the psychology part of the customer, of the client, of the lead. And that's why you'll reduce your CPM, right? Second is CTR percentage. You need to increase this. That means the number of people who click on the ad after seeing it. If 1,000 people viewed your video, how many clicked? Let's say 10 people clicked, then you have a 1% CTR. Now your CTR percentage determines how many people are actually clicking on it. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is OBC to LPV ratio. That means how many people actually reach on your landing page. You'd be surprised to know, but a lot of people have their OBC to LPV ratio below 70%. That means if 10 people are clicking on the ad, then only 7 are reaching the landing page. If someone does not reach the landing page, do you expect them to convert? No, because they haven't reached the landing page. So how would they convert? The idea is to get more and more people to the landing page, not more and more people click. So that's why you need to work on OBC to LPV ratio, and you need to increase this number. The way you would increase this number is by working on speed optimization, your hosting, your domain, everything matters. Consult your ad agency or whoever your marketer is, and they would make this number improve. And that's why you would have more people reaching on the landing page. Then you have landing page conversion rate. That means a person land on the landing page. Out of them, how many convert? So if 100 people come on your landing page, do 10 convert, do 12 convert, do 15 convert? Like, what is your landing page conversion rate? That determines how much CPA you will get. Now the last two, this is to increase the average order value, basically make most money out of the same customer that is landing on your page. So if you don't have a bump or a OTO, you're losing big money. Bump conversion rate is, there's a small tick mark option you would see when you're trying to pay some customer. My team will put a screenshot, but basically that is called as a bump. You can add that bump and you'll surprised to know 20 to 30% tick on it at a 2x or a 3x price. If your workshop is 99, you can put a bump of 299 and you would see 20 to 30% click on that. That means you have added 99 to 100 rupees of average order value in your business by just optimizing one single tick mark, nothing else in your business, and you're making 100 rupees per customer extra. And then you have OTO. That means someone paid. Instead of making them land on a thank you page, you made them land on a OTO page, which is a one-time offer. And over there also a lot of people convert 20 to 30% again at 3 to 4x price, and due to which you're able to get even more money out of the customer, and that's why you are able to scale faster. Now I'll give you some normal industry metrics to make you understand how this works. Let's say I was running 299 rupees AI funnel workshop. My CPA was averaging between 1,000 to 1,500, which is at that time was industry average. Now it is not the average, but at that time in my niche, that was the average. Now, when this is happening, my competition will also get the same. Probably not, because I worked on psychology part. That's why it was coming 1,000 as well. You would see people having 99 rupees workshop getting 1,000 CPA. Very normal in my industry, at least. Now, what I did was I had bump, I had OTO, and I had multiple things. So instead of getting only 299 rupees per customer, I had a 499 bump and OTO, which 30% people used to take. That means I used to make around 150 rupees. 499 into 30% is 150 rupees per customer extra. That means 299 plus 150, which is 450 rupees. So if I spend 1,000 rupees to acquire a customer, I have recovered 450 before the webinar. That means it is taking only a loss of 550 rupees to bring the person in the webinar. That's what the idea is. But to my competition, it is 700 rupees because they don't have all this thing. That's why they only make 299. And let's say they have 1,000 CPA. They are spending 700 to get a customer. I'm spending 550 to get a customer. I'm saving 150 rupees per customer extra. That means the difference in this, which is around 30%, if I'm not wrong, I can spend 30% more than my customer to get the same amount of volume in my funnels as well, while they have transacted 2 times, one on the front end, one on the bump or OTO, and the trust of the audience is higher. They've paid more before coming to the webinar, and I'm on a 30% higher scale than my competition. That's how you beat competition. The bigger idea is, if on the back end I have better conversion rates, I can get to a CP of 2,500 and I would still be okay, while my competition would die at 2,500 because their whole funnel average order value is 2,500 minus 6,000. How can you beat me? If I have a 40 lakhs plus GST product and out of 1,000, even if one person buys, what's my average order value increased by? Let's say I get 1,000 people in the workshop and only one buys 40 lakh rupees product. 40 lakh divided by 1,000. How much is that? 4,000 rupees. That means my average order value of 1,000 to 1 ratio is also 4,000 rupees, while the whole average order value of my competition's funnel was 2,500, 3,000. Imagine what I would make at 299, then the bump, then the upsell, then the 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh product, and then at the 40 lakh product. So my average order value becomes 7,000 rupees. And it's impossible to beat me now because I can handle a CP of 3,000 and still make 3,000 per customer while my competition is crying in the corner making minus 500 per customer. The idea is to play with economics so well that you can play the whole game. And that's why I have OTO and bump so that you can increase the average order value significantly high. And that's why the whole business would work out smarter. Now, think about this. If I have CPM, if I have CTR, if I have OBC to LPV, and I have LPCR, let's say I have these 4 numbers. And in these 4 numbers, I just do a 20% optimization. So my CPM is, let's say, 200 rupees. I get it down now to 160 rupees. Then I have a CTR of 1. I get it to 1.2%. I have a OBC to LPV of 70%. I get it to 84%, 20% increase. And I have a LPCR of 10%. I get it to 12%. I have increased my business not by 80%. Because 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 80. Nope. It is compounding of 20%. So 20% improve, then 20% is 20%, which is 24% increased. So 24 plus 20 is 44%. And you can do the math so on. Basically, I've doubled my business just by working 20% on just one metric. The whole idea is open your ad dashboard, open your sheet, calculate these numbers first and see where you can optimize. Each optimization would lead you more money in the future. I'll give you a very simple example at scale. If a client is having, let's say, 1,000 clicks on the landing page, and out of that 100 people buy, which is a 10% conversion rate on landing page, and his average order value is, let's say, 3,000 rupees. That means he is making 3 lakh rupees. 3,000 into 100. He makes 3 lakh rupees every 100 people he get. So let's say he is every day getting 1,000 clicks, 1,000 views on landing page, and every day he's getting 100 customers. His average order value is this. So he's making 3 lakh rupees revenue every single day. If I make this number increase from 10 to 12%, which is not a big deal, I can just have some landing page hacks. By the way, if you want a separate video on that, put the comment landing page and I'll make a separate video on landing pages, how to optimize them. But if I go from 10% to 12%, now I'm getting out of 120 people. That means 120 into 3,000, I am making 3.6 lakhs. I'm making 60,000 rupees per day revenue just by optimizing 2%. If I optimize 3%, I'll make 90,000. If I optimize 4%, I'll make 1 lakh rupees extra. The idea is, it's not about new. It's not about what's the latest hack. It's not about who's the best agency. It's about how much can I optimize. And if I can optimize by 1% at each place, bro, you can't imagine the amount of money you would make just by optimizing a little bit. The problem is optimization is boring and nobody wants boring work. But here's the case. The money is in the boring work. You need to do that boring work, which will make you the real money that you want in life. Now, this next equation is again for business owner, which is really important to calculate. And that's why if you have this problem of procrastinating, wasting time, taking again and again breaks, and you feel like, I don't know why I do that, is because you don't understand the value of you. And for that, I have an equation for you. To calculate your value, we come to equation number 16, which is called as PHV, which is equals to revenue per month divided by 30 divided by hours you work. Let me do the calculation for you. This PHV is called as per hour value. See, in US and Western countries, it is very normal to calculate your per hour value, and a lot of people are paid on per hour value. If you go to Upwork or these places, you would see a lot of people put their per hour rate, which is $35 an hour, $30 an hour. The reason they put that is because they know their per hour value. But in India, we have not been taught that. That's why we need to calculate it for ourselves so that we know the per hour value of ours. Let's say, now to calculate this, what I would do is I'll write PHV equals to, let's say I do a revenue of 30 lakhs a month approximately, divided by 30 days, divided by hours you work. So let's say I work 10 hours in a day. So 30 lakhs by 30 is 1 lakh, and 1 lakh by 10 is 10,000. That means my per hour value is 10,000 per hour. Now think about this. If a cousin calls me and says, and starts bitching about some relative and takes my 20 minutes, they are not taking my 20 minutes anymore. They are taking 3,000 rupees, 30% of this, from my life and from my business. And the 20 minutes of Instagram scroll, and the 20 minutes of Snapchat, and the 20 minutes of YouTube as well. And by the way, I forgot to tell you the 1 hour break that you take of chai, including that and everything. You would know that you lose at least half of your per hour value every single day. And now you complain about business. Well, That's what the game is. I cannot watch a movie of 3 hours. Oh, Himanshu, but you don't know the latest movies and series. It's fine, because I understand per hour value. A 3-hour movie for you is a 599 rupees ticket. For me, it's a 30,000 rupees thing. If I'm making 30 lakh revenue, now do it for your revenue and think what would happen. You would exactly know what your value is. Now again, a lot of people are watching this are not calculating this. Pause the video and calculate, idiot, because I understand that you have this procrastination problem. Calculate it, your procrastination will go away. Because this video that you're watching right now, if your per hour value is 10,000, you are not spending 1 hour with me, you're spending 10,000 with me automatically because it's per hour value. The whole idea is every single thing that you do in life that contributes to revenue and you put that time elsewhere, except these 10 hours that you're doing. Whatever 14 hours you do, I don't care. Except in this 10 hours, if you're doing some time waste, you're costing yourself money, and that's why the business is not growing. Here's the idea. The idea is find all the tasks that you do every single day. Let's say cold calling, cold emailing, shooting ads, running ads, sales calls. Simply see which one of these is not equivalent to 10,000 per hour value. So let's say you do 2 hours each thing. 2 hours this, 2 hours this, 2 hours this, 2 hours this, 2 hours this. Tell me one thing. Can you hire a person to do cold calls at 20,000 rupees a month? Yes. Because if you do every single day for 2 hours, then you're spending 20,000 rupees per day on this, which is how much? 6 lakh rupees in a month. If you automate this and give it to anyone else with 30,000 rupees salary, it's completely fine. Well, you freed up your 2 hours. Cold email, can someone do for 25,000 rupees a month? I think so. AI tools can do for $20 a month. So forget about it. So this is done. Shooting ads. Let's say you make an AI avatar of yourself and now it makes the ads. You again save time. Let's say you are left with running ads. Now let's say you don't automate this and you still want to do it and you do sales calls. Well, now all the things that were below 10,000 per hour value, you eliminated them. You have 6 hours free. Others people are doing that work. You're saving money and making more money at the same time. Plus you have these 2 tasks that now you can put, let's say 2 hours into this and now 6 hours into this and make more money, because sales calls, you will know you will make more than 10,000 per hour on an average if your product price is, let's say, 50,000. One sale a day, you're making 50,000, and let's say you put 3 hours. So technically you're making 15,000 per hour, not 10,000. So any task that is bigger than 10,000 per hour, double down on it. Any task that is below 10,000 per hour, either eliminate it or delegate it. There's no other way. And if you do so, you would be surprised to see how fast you scale your revenue. It's not about looking at 10 lakhs and be like, how do I do it 20 lakhs? Don't look at macro, look at micro. Be like, oh, my per hour value is 400 rupees. How can I get it to 800 rupees? Your business would automatically double. The point is, if you double your per hour value, you would be able to double the per hour value of your team as well. Because think about this, if you pay them a 70,000 rupees salary and they have a XYZ per hour value, your whole idea is to either get more done in that per hour value or increase the per hour value of that team member, because if that increases, your business automatically increases. Calculate the per hour value right now, and if you're liking these videos, press the subscribe button. I understand it. And you might have this question of, Himanshu, what do I systemize first? Should I systemize marketing, or should I systemize sales, or HR, or operations, or finance, or manage? Like, what should I systemize first? Well, you need to understand the systemization score of the department before you systemize it. And that's why it brings me to the equation number 17, which is systemization score of department, not of business. Okay, that we'll calculate later, but first you need department. So you need a systemization score of department. Now we know there are 8 departments of the business. If you've been watching carefully, you must have remembered them, but again I'll repeat. It's marketing, sales, operations, finance, HR, R&D, legal, management. These are the 8 departments that you have. Now the whole idea is, which department needs to get systemized first? For that, we need to score it. To score it, we have an equation. It's called a systemization score of department. How do you calculate it? Very simple. First, you need founders' time in department. So simply write founders, basically yours, time in department divided by average employee time in department. I'll give you a very simple example in this. Let's say you run a video marketing agency. Now in that video marketing agency, you need to have systemization score. So there are multiple departments again: marketing, sales, operations, finance, HR. Now let's say in operations, you take a simple thing which is video editing. One of the tasks that we need to do is video editing. Now video editing systemization score need to be calculated. So how do I calculate it? I will simply write VE, which is video editing, systemization score equals to founders time in department. Now what I need to do is I need to calculate per day. All of this is per day, by the way. I need to calculate the per day time I spend in that department. Let's say I have 5 video editors and I spend around 6 hours, or let's say 3 hours a day into video editing. If I spend 3 hours a day with my video editing department to see if editings are good or not. Sometimes I need to check them, cross check, whatever. So let's say 3 hours per day. That is founder's time. Now I need to take average employee time. So let's say your video editor works in your company for 10 hours a day, but actually they don't work for 10 hours a day. You just need to see the output wise, like how much do they work. So let's say technically they work 6 hours a day. So average may all the employees combined, 5 of them, some works 10, some works 9, some works 2, whatever. The average is 6, which is 6 hours a day. Then what I'll do is I'll cancel this out. This is 1 by 2, which is 0.5. The idea is this. Now over here, I'll write 0.5. And similarly, I will do for all the departments. The magic number is this. If systemization score is greater than equal to 1, then I need to systemize it as soon as possible because this is eating my time. Because think about another scenario. If it is 0.5, it is good. My video editing department can go. The idea is to get all the numbers to 0.01, something like that, if that is possible. But the idea is to get to 0.01 as soon as possible in every department possible as a founder, so that it becomes a business and not a job anymore. Now I'm having 0.5 over here, which is good. But let's say I was spending 9 hours in video editing department and the average time employee was spending 6 hours. This would come to 3 by 2, which is 1.5, which is what? Greater than 1. That means as a founder, after paying salaries to 5 people, I am putting more average time than that particular employee in that department. Do you think that makes sense? Not at all. The reason you hired those people is so that your time can get free. The idea is this number I need to get below 1 as soon as possible, or else I cannot scale my business because I'm stuck too much. This will happen for marketing, sale, operation, finance, HR, R&D, legal, management, every department that you have and every sub-department inside that department you have. Example, in finance, let's have 2 departments. One is auditing and one is taxation and one is accounting. Then I'll do for this, I'll do for this, and I'll do for this. Then once I've done for all the departments, basically pause the video and do it right now. Once I've done it for all the departments, I would see which has the highest score. So let's say I see that sales has the highest score, finance has the highest score, and R&D has the highest score. Now you know which department to delegate first. Because this is, let's say 0.3, 0.2, let's say this is 0, this is 1, not 0.2, this is 0.2, this is 1.2, this is 0.3, this is 1.8, this is 0.1, 0.1, whatever. So this, and this is having the highest systemization score, and that's why I need to get to 1 as soon as possible. So to decrease it as soon as possible so that my time gets free. If my time gets free, I'll again calculate it because now I have free time for all the departments after a month, and I'll do this activity every single month. Do this for 6 months and I'm telling you, if your life doesn't change, then come to this video after 6 months and tell me your life didn't change. You do this for 6 months, every month once, and you'll be surprised to see that the business can fully be automated. Fully means fully. Today IC is run without me. I don't have a phone right now. I don't use my phone to run IC anymore. Leads come, customers come, they buy, they get delivered, they become a success story, we upload a case study, all of that automated, including the finance, R&D, HR, every part of that. The reason is I worked on this. The problem is you don't even know your score. Calculate all of them and you'd be mind blown by the amount of delegation you can do in your business right now. And now this brings me to the last equation of business. I hope you're liking this video by now. If you are, just click on the subscribe button because that reminds us that you are listening to us. Equation number 18, which is scalability of business. Himanshu, how scalable my business is? It is really, really simple to calculate. And how do you calculate is scalability of business equals to TAM into average order value divided by risk. That means how much can your business scale. If someone asks how big your business can become and you just give a random answer, oh, it can become 20 crores a year. How did you came up to that answer? I'm telling you guys, do not ever give random numbers in life. The reason is simple. When you give a random number, you feel good inside you because it's a big number. But that does not help you accomplish anything. Rather, calculate it always because that makes you a pro businessman. So, scalability of business is TAM into average order value divided by risk. Now, risk cannot always come in component, but can come in higher or lower form. Basically, how big is the TAM? Let's say I have 80,000 gym owners in India. multiplied by average order value, which is let's say 2500 rupees, divided by risk. That means how high is the risk? Do I feel more gym owners would be created or less? Do I feel gyms will shut down or not? Do I feel more people will go to the gym or not? Do I feel more and more gyms will open or not? And that is all risk factors. If the risk in business is high, then you can't scale it really big. And the reason for that is because if you scale that business, then you are incurring a bigger and bigger risk in life because you don't know when that will shut off. And your lifestyle expense, inflation, and everything is rising, due to which you would lead into a problem after 3-4 years. But if the risk in business is low, that means you're good to go. For example, I know that, a lot of people are eating more and more junk food. A lot of people are not going to the gym. A lot of people are not focusing on fitness. So most probably, more and more fitness products and fitness services would sell in the future. I feel so. That means the risk on my business of that business is low, due to which this can become a really good business to go for. Why? Because the risk is less. But if I'm in the newspaper business, I think there's a very high risk over there. Why? Because nobody reads newspaper anymore. So if I'm in a newspaper business and I have a very good TAM and a very good average order value, because if I think about it, the TAM is what? 50 crore people? Multiplied by what? Average order value. A newspaper is, I think, 2 rupees. You buy for 365 days, 700 rupees average order value, approximately, let's say. And you divide that by risk, right? Now, you tell me, is this business better or this business better? This business is 50 crores into 700, which is 35,000 crores. Divide by a very high risk. That means this business might not work after 1 year. Do you think this is a better opportunity, or a business over here which is 20 crores divided by least risk? I think this is a better business. Why? Because the risk is less, and I know this business would not shut off after 3 years. The reason you want less risk, even though reward is very high, is because if you scale this business to that, then you'll have a lot of liabilities. And the risk is high. Then it might go tuck. And because it will go like seriously really down, you might create a big liability for you, and that's why you might die and be in debt after being a business owner. Rather here, I'm not having that big of a reward, but the game is that I am having the least risk, and that's why I'll not at least create debt or liability in my life after doing a business of 3 years. Because if I'm working for 3 years for something and it would die after 3 years, there's no point of working for 3 years. The reason I'm working on that thing for 3 years is that it continues for 30 years without me. The whole idea of business is you work for small time rigorously so that you don't need to work after that. If you work for small time rigorously and that thing dies after 3 years, there's no point of the business. And that's where I complete the 18 equations of business. I hope you loved this video. If you did, click on the subscribe button below. Share this with a friend who needs it, who you think this would help. Share in WhatsApp groups, share on your email, wherever you can. And comment on which was your favorite part. Did you got value out of this? What topics more can I cover? What problems can I solve? And lastly, just to give an introduction, my name is Himanshu Agrawal. I run Originates, short form O8. This is an acquisition firm. We take really small companies, acquire them with a percentage, take royalty and equity in them, and then hyperscale them to big heights. We are working with the biggest names in the country. Can't reveal right now. Soon we'll make the website and launch it as well. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you in the next one.